The first thing I'd have to do every time I come home from being in the mortuary, I'd have to go and take a shower. That's one thing that used to kick me, like, yo, the smell.
How many burials would you do in a day?
I think all in all, there'll be like 20 funerals on a Saturday.
Ha.
There's already a lot of graves already that have been done. So the ones that have few spaces are obviously the elite ones, the expensive ones. Like, for example, at Nazareth, there's a cemetery in Nazareth. It's quite private. I think they range from minimum 50,000 rand for a grave. I used to see them when I had to go to the government mortuary to go and collect. So because the state of government mortuary is still terrible, it's, you know, you'd go inside the mortuary. It's like a room. It's quite a big room. It's like, imagine your bedroom. Opening your bedroom and it's just a fridge. It's just a cold room. So we call it a cold room. Just opening up there. So usually you're supposed to put them in like shelves or like, you know, fridge, you know, like a square box. You open it. So in the government mortuary, they just piled up. The bodies are just like piled up. So it's a situation where, like, you now need to, one on top of the other, you now need to just pull and identify who's this and see, is this the body that we're taking? Or, you know, so yeah, it's like a game of, what is that game that where you pull and then the things fall, that wooden game. So it's exactly like that. You need to identify what you're taking.
My brother, Naki. How are you, sir?
I'm alright, and you, brother?
Fantastic. Please tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm currently based in Bedfordview in the East Rand. 26 years of age. And currently I'm in the film industry doing wardrobe. So I'm basically assisting in the wardrobe department. So yeah, I've actually been quite a big hustler, to be honest. I've done quite a lot of things in my life. So any opportunity I grab, I take it, you know. So yeah, usually people know me usually for like business and yeah. So I'm always just hopping on everything that I can, and I always do the best with what I can, you know.
Yeah. Is there money in the film wardrobe industry?
I would like to believe so. I would like to believe so. I think generally working as a crew member behind the scenes, I would like to believe that there is. Yeah, it definitely is.
Just to have a little bit of an understanding, when you dress an actor, do you sometimes like have to dress them with like these famous brands, like your Nike, Adidas, and stuff like that?
Unfortunately, it depends on the production itself, but usually that's not the case. So it depends on what you're shooting. So, for example, if it's a really cultural production, if it's something that's really going to be cultural, it's going to be cultural. They will then, the costume designer will obviously be in talks with the producer or the creative director to give the direct look, you know, what the look that they're looking for, you know, and they design the look, they source the looks, and then you dress the whole cast, you know. So yeah, it depends on. Usually, I'm not sure. I wouldn't think that it's mainly, unless if you go to a brand that wants to advertise their brand, then obviously that will come to how you're going to style them, how you're going to put it on, how's the look going to fit and everything. So that would be obviously like your commercials, if I'm allowed to say the brand name, for example, Nike is coming to my HOD and asking for a styling gig. That's where they're going to be like, okay, we've got these outfits. Can you please advertise? We want to advertise these outfits, or we want to advertise the brand. If they're advertising the brand, obviously, it's a matter of getting the right looks for this person, the specific model, and then it's how, you know, the stylist makes sure that it looks good on the person and it looks good on TV or whatever platform that is going to be on. Yeah,
I want us to talk about why you're here. At some point in your life, you used to work at the mortuary.
Yes.
I was told that it's a family mortuary. Yes. It's a family business. Yes. How was it like? Can you please take us through that?
It was quite a hectic experience, good experience, sometimes bad. You know, it's just like any other industry or any other platform that you're given to work in. Not every industry that you work in is going to be easy or good, or there's always ups and downs. But with my experience, it was quite a good journey. I don't want to lie, it was really quite good. I got to gain a lot of experience, not specifically based on the mortuary side, just obviously, the working industry, how it works, dealing with time management, and I guess also there were more things like dealing with with families. So I had to also deal with people's emotions at times. So it was also quite a tricky one, I guess. But I got to learn. I got to take it in and grow with it and take it to wherever I go, Like, for example, in the industry that I am, I have to deal with emotions, with different type of people. So I would like to believe that I'm quite good at those kind of things now, It became easier for me.
Yeah, I actually want to understand, how is it like, working at the mortuary? Because I'm sure a lot of people, they don't see themselves working there, but you got to work there, because of it's a family business, Was it your choice, or your dad was like, yo, you need to come and help us?
At the beginning, it wasn't really much. I wouldn't say it was a choice, but at the same time, it was also a choice, because you know how your parents are. It's like, the food that you're eating comes from there. So it's like, okay, I'm still at school, and I also want to, look fly at school. I want to get, and I can't be always asking for money and whatnot. So let me go and get my own money. Let me go try to do something. And I think it was not a thing of, yes, I did have a job before this where I went out my own way to go look for a job, and I got it, because I wanted to show that I'm also independent as well. So I did, it went well. I obviously left, I went back to school. When going back to school, it was a matter of now I needed something that would help me while I'm still at school. So I needed something that's going to be part-time. So that's when I was just like, cool, let me just get inside and help out when I'm needed or when I have time. Because obviously I was focusing at school at the time. So I think on Fridays after school, that's when I would go to the mortuary. So Fridays would be a day where we prepare for the weekends, for Saturday, Sunday, for the funeral. So obviously that would be doing cleaning the bodies, preparing the bodies, coffining. What we call it, coffining. So it's just basically getting preparing the bodies, delivering them to the families on Fridays, and they view the body. Usually at times, I think they would stay there, if I'm not mistaken. They would stay there, or would come back with the coffin, then deliver it again Saturday morning if it's on a Saturday. But usually it would stay there. That means Saturday morning the drivers would go to the family, and the service proceeds from there. So that was my procedure. It would be on a Friday. Then Saturday, Sunday, I'm obviously available. Saturday, actually doing the actual funeral, so I'm at the cemetery, bringing up the tents, organizing everything at the cemetery, making sure that they've got the correct grave, the grave number, and the size of the grave is okay. The coffin is the correct size for the grave as well, because it becomes very tricky as well. The spaces are becoming limited in South Africa, well, in the cemeteries in South Africa, basically. So some places it's quite tight now. So there's quite a lot of numbers in this. There's already a lot of graves already that have been done. So it becomes limited. So it's very tricky as well, also for a family member to look for a grave when they've already got a grave. So some they use a landmark. I was actually speaking to someone late this week who was telling me she's got a tattoo on her arm with her father's, I think it's her father's grave number, because it's very difficult for her to find it without, like, at the top of her head. Like, it's very difficult to find her father's grave. So she got a tattoo of the grave number, and still, I think she said something about still finding it difficult to still find it, even if she still has the number, because you still have to go to the reception. They must still take you there. You know, it becomes very tricky because it's very populated now. So the ones that have few spaces are obviously the elite ones, the expensive ones. I would like to say exclusive ones. Comes with the price, but yeah.
How much?
And if I'm not mistaken, the last time I checked, like for example at Nazareth, there's a cemetery in Nazareth. It's quite private. I think they range from minimum 50,000 rand for a grave there just to be done for you. Yeah, I think the minimum, if I'm not mistaken. And then it probably goes higher. There's another one in Four Ways, which is very, very private. I'm not sure how the prices range there, but they're quite expensive. They obviously probably go over than 50K. So yeah, it's quite...
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I just thought maybe...
You just dig it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a section where there's like famous people. Not everybody can just bury it there, something like that. I didn't know that you have to pay.
You have to pay, yeah. There is a section. I'm not sure if it's just specifically for the one in West Park, but there are other in West Park, obviously there is a section based for celebrities, but they do pay for the grave. Your more private ones, like your Four Ways ones, Nazareth, I would like to believe there are celebrities there. It's just that now it's not a thing that you know that it's a celebrity there because it's already a private place. So as opposed to West Park, where it's also open to the public and it's usually general middle class people or whatever the case may be. But your Four Ways, you know that it's top of the range. So
yeah,
you know, it's high class people that can afford to, you know, pay those prices for a grave. So the general one that we know is West Park for celebrities, but I'm pretty sure there are celebrities as well in your other cemeteries as well.
How long have you been working at the mortuary?
I was there for how long? Quite some time, probably half my life.
10 years?
Yeah, give or take.
So I wanna have actually get your title in the company, your father's business. Were you an undertaker, basically?
The company is an undertaker. It's a funeral undertaker, and it evolved into becoming an FSP. So they also had the license to do financial services. So, for example, now you can go and open a policy with them and pay monthly for a policy for reasons of death, God forbid, a family, just like how other companies work, your client in life. So that's how they also then opened up into this service providing side. So you do go there, get a policy for 89 Rand, 100 Rand, all the way up, and comes with different packages and different prices. So obviously the high package would, if you're paying the last number package, for example, you will be able to be eligible to, you know, go and get a burial at like your Four Ways, Nazareth, so on and so forth. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Just to go a little bit deeper, I just want to understand the process of when somebody has died or they've passed away and the body has to come in.
Yeah.
What do you do?
As the undertaker?
Yeah. Let's say your role, basically. The body has come in your...
Okay,
yeah.
So as the undertaker, generally, when someone is deceased, an individual is deceased, it becomes a situation of now, we cannot just take that body. You can't just, we assume, or you can see that the individual is deceased. It's not like that. You still have to go through a process of the paramedics, or they must declare the body deceased before you can actually take the body. So usually a lot of people will ask, does it not happen that what if you take the body by mistake and he's still alive, or he wakes up again after an hour or 2 hours? It's impossible, because it means there's another profession that comes in before us that needs to declare that the body is deceased, and there needs to be a reason, obviously, of the reason of death. and then we proceed. In fact, before we even proceed, we have to know, are we allowed to take that body? Because then, is this person in? Do they have a policy with us? Did they ask us to store the body or bury the body? Because it happens at times that we just store. At the time, there was cases where we just store, or we can store and bury, or it happens that they know this company and they know that they're good at this job. So the first instant, because you're still in a panic mode, sometimes it happens unexpectedly. It's still in a panic mode. You take the body and you assume that it's probably going to be like 2,000 Rand to just bury your loved one. And it so happens that you're not in the budget, you cannot afford, certain reasons happen, other reasons, and unfortunately then they need to have an alternative. So then maybe they'll have to be buried by the government also. But usually before we actually take the body, we need to confirm with the family, do you really want to go with our way, with our company, or would like to go with another institute, another organization, whatsoever.
Have you sometimes found yourself washing a dead body?
Yeah, that was what I used to do on a Friday after school for like coughing. So that's the first thing that you do.
Wait. What grade were you in? Grade 11? Grade 12?
12, first year varsity.
Bro,
second year.
You telling me that you, during those times, grade 12, first year varsity, after
Those
school,
times,
you go to the mortuary. During the day, you're with your friends, and then later on, hanging around with dead bodies, washing them.
That was basically my procedure.
Jeez, man. Do you dress them?
If the family is not comfortable enough to do it, then yes, we would.
Oh, the family has to do it.
Yes,
maybe cultural.
Yeah. So it was first. It's either we give you that opportunity as a family. Would you like to wash the body, dress the body, see the body for the last time, dress the body, and usually, obviously, generally, these are things that are unexpected in your family. So sometimes it happens that it's your first time doing it, so you're very scared. But at the same time, some families, you really want to do this because you're in an emotional space. You want to be with the person for the last time. So I don't think you even think about the fact that you're actually washing a dead body. It's, as a family, you're thinking that this is the last time you're going to be with this. This is the last time you touch this person. So some families, yes, they do get like uncomfortable, and then that's where we step in. Okay, it's fine. They will come deliver the clothes to us that they would like to be dressed in for their final day. Then we will wash them, clean them up. If they have asked to have makeup, put on makeup, let them look like they're still alive, like still the person they were. Dress them, coffin them, and then
Dude, was it not too much for you, when you first started to, dress up bodies, wash bodies, maybe create some sort of traumas, you not sleeping?
I usually do get a lot of those questions, and I've never felt any sort of way. I think for me it was just, I'm here to do something. I'm here to do work. Yes, unfortunately, this is not the general type of work that everybody would love to do. Everybody does. It's something that it's not a norm kind of thing. So for me, it was just I just used to go with the flow. I knew that I had to do work. I knew someone has to do it at the end of the day. So for me, I come from that kind of thinking to say, somebody has to do it. Who else will do it? I could be helping somebody's family, by actually doing this for them. Some are not comfortable enough to do it. Some are not brave enough to do it. So I think I just had that courage in general. I've never felt any type of way. And I think I'd also like to say I felt probably lucky enough, or in a situation that, because I was still young at that time, it's never happened to me in my family. So that's why it's just like, I'm going on a day to day. So I've never experienced a close death in my family, so I don't know what it's like. I have no idea how I would feel, so I just see it on a daily basis when somebody's crying and they feeling, how they're feeling when their loved ones have passed on. So at that time, I'm not as if it's insensitive, it's just how I am, it's just, I didn't feel as if, because I think generally I feel like that because it hasn't happened to me. Mm-hmm. That's why sometimes I always think to myself, how did I actually manage to do this? I think it's basically because I haven't had that experience myself.
In your family.
Yeah. So the moment you go through it yourself, I think then I would actually, but I don't think by now, because I've been in the industry, it wouldn't affect me as much. Like I know what's the procedure, but had I started with that in the first place, like actually seeing a family member, then I'd really feel uncomfortable or whatever the case may be. But over those years, it was just work. It was work.
Jeez, man, I'd like to call you the Terminator because you didn't feel anything, dude. And you're very young at the time.
Yeah.
And if I were you, like, trust me, I was going to have so many mixed emotions, mixed thoughts, thinking that this person might actually wake up, It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The type of job that you did there, well, it's your family business, but yeah, is the money making sense?
Hey, how, I don't know,
For your position, not the company itself, but for your position,
when I was there at that time,
yeah,
I was okay because, like, it was work. I was trying to get an extra buck, so I think it was okay at that time.
Okay,
but I wouldn't say now, because I mean I'm older now and I've got, I'm chasing other things, but it was general work. So it was okay. It was all right. I wouldn't say the money was, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have like any, because at the end of the day, what I wanted, I could get it because I worked for it. So I wouldn't also recommend people to go there because the money is nice also. It's general work.
yeah,
It's just general work, yeah.
Somebody's watching this and they don't have a job, but they're willing to take the job that you used to do, of washing bodies, But I know that this is not easy for everybody. But now, 2024, how much do you think people that are in your position are earning? Like 2024, approximately.
Doing the same thing.
Yeah, doing the same thing.
I wouldn't lie to you. I would not.
10,000,
possibly, if you've got experience. Okay. If you've got experience, because I don't think South Africa has that. It's not there yet compared to the American, or let me just say overseas. Well, your European countries, America was dominate. I think that's where I started seeing that there's actually quite a profession in America when it comes to being a mortician, because there you get a certificate, you get a qualification for it. It's actually quite a real, like, a profession. It's a standard job for people there that do it. There's my family member, my parents at the time, when they were still like building this business, they had to go to America at times for conferences, to learn all these things. And they used to tell us that it's actually a mortician there. It's a real profession. So this side, it's just general work. So I wouldn't say if you go to school and study it, it will make a difference.
So anybody can do it, unless if they get trained.
Yeah, and trained properly, with the right person.
So most of the time I thought that, they would go to the mortuary to wash a body. Sometimes when somebody had just passed, they would wash the body there. Do they wash them the same way when you take a shower, or not even when you take a shower, like just wipe them with the Vaslabi or something? Or maybe there's a certain chemical that they need to be using?
Depends, but generally, yes. If it's just washing the same way you would take a shower or bath. But then, however, if they were sick, like during the COVID times, there were specific chemicals now that we'd have to use, disinfecting the body. But yes, disinfecting, it's a general thing we have to do it. The first thing that we do is disinfect the body. And mostly it's because it happens at times that you get decomposed bodies. So now you really have to disinfect it. Now you need to. So there are chemicals, and inside the mortuary itself, it needs to be disinfected. The fridge itself needs to be clean, needs to be at a certain temperature. There's certain chemicals that need for like the smell also to be at it mustn't be too much, So there are chemicals that we use. There was actually this don't remember what chemical it is. There are times where, like when it's really, really hectic, that smell would stick on your body.
Ha!
Like the first thing I'd have to do every time I come home from being in the mortuary, I'd have to go and take a shower. That's one thing that, just to kick me, like, yo, the smell. Like,
is it bad though?
It's just a clean, it's just like whatever disinfecting soap or whatever it is, but it's because it associated with dead bodies. So if I give you that chemical to smell it, your head wouldn't register as it's for dead bodies. You're just going to think it's just some chemical that needs to be, but because I smelt it working in there, it associates. It's just like a cologne. If you spray a certain cologne, if you use a certain cologne, every time somebody smells that cologne, they associate it with yourself, with you, every time. So if you detach it from you and somebody else smells it, it's just going to smell a certain way that they feel like it smells, So I used to come home and like every time that scent is there, and then it would stick on the clothes.
Yeah.
And then later on, like throughout my life, when I probably just buying certain chemicals or soaps and whatnot, I'll smell that disinfecting soap and I'll be like, yo, those days of being in the mortuary, it smells exactly. That's the one that they use, So it was the smell that used to always.
It must be a very emotional place, man.
I think
coming in.
Not the mortuary, but the service itself, when it's time to actually get to the cemetery and bury your loved one. I think that's where it's really kind of emotional. It's what I used to do actually when I was at the cemetery. I would set up. Sometimes it happens. Because it's teamwork, you go there as a team. So maybe it's my turn to be there when the coffin is going down, because we still have to. We prepare the machine, right? So it goes down. When it goes down, we still have to take out whatever that needs to be taken out in order for you now to close the grave. So while that process is happening, you're in front of the family crying, and it's like. Dude. Those are times where you're like, okay, no, this is...
And I'm sure, especially when you I don't know if that machine is electronic. I don't know how you got that machine. Bro, like that machine is like you press something there, bro, and then the casket goes down, bro. And I'm like, how do you... Yeah, but I'm sure it's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's hectic. And then, you know how it is at work when... Because it's time, it's pressure. So you know when things are not going well, there's technical faults at work, and then it's happening while the coffin is going down, and families are just crying, and some mistake happens while the coffin is going down. It becomes hectic.
It becomes a drama now.
So usually, what I used to do, if it's not my turn, for example, to be there in front where the coffin is going down and to prepare to take it out, I'll go back to the car, sit, wait for everything to be done, then come back, start my job again. Or if it's my turn, while I wait for the coffin to get down, prepare, when the coffin is down, take out the stuff. First thing I do is take it to the car. Then I wait for the service to be done. Then the service is done, I come back and I continue with my job. So it kind of avoids me from actually being and seeing and sitting around the family, So it does really, at times it does get like, how do you stay away from the family? But usually it's because the people under the tent is the direct family, so they're right in front of you. So I would just look away, get my things done, and then move away, or stand at the back, because usually at the back it's not near family. The usual case is never near family. It's family or friends also, but under the tent, that's where it's heated. That's where I don't go there.
But I feel like your role is very difficult, man. You being the person who has to press the machine, because I'm sure the kids, the siblings, they would not want you to press it.
Be pressing that, yeah.
They would resist you. Please don't press it, Just they feel like they can just be there,
Forever. Yeah.
And you have no choice but to actually press the machine so that it can go down. But the moment when it goes down, man, it's
the last moment.
How many burials would you do in a day?
Max 5, maximum 5 a day. Yeah, it could happen, max 5. And that was probably just like my team alone. There's still another 3, 4, 5 teams. My team alone. So for example, how we would do it by route. So if it's in Soweto, Avalon, what else? Dorfontein, Dobsonville, or let's just say the cemeteries in Soweto, maybe 2 or 3. Each probably has 2, 3, another one, 2, 3. So it's in the same route. So once you're done with Avalon, pack up, finish, go to the next cemetery, pack up, finish. Then there'll be another team that's probably doing
set up at the grave
in Nazareth, and then after Nazareth, West Park.
Yeah.
So then there's another team that side. So same thing with them. Have like maybe 2, 3. The next one, 2, 3, just like that. So it would be heavy numbers. I think all in all, it would be like 20 funerals on a Saturday.
Ha. By your family's company.
In the company, yeah.
So and I'm sure it's not only Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, and then after COVID now, it's even during the week now because of how COVID was. So now it happens even during the week. It happens during the week as well. So you can imagine the numbers from Tuesday all the way to Sunday. But Saturday, obviously, it would be because that was back then. Generally, your Saturday, Sundays was the day to do the burials. So like now, because after COVID, if someone passes on today, you can bury them after 2-3 days or so. Depending on, So before, remember, we could, if somebody passes on us during the week, Monday, it means, let's say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you go the following weekend. So now things are fast, I guess. Now it happens now. It's like that now.
Ish, dude, hey, I'm sure it's going to be very difficult for people to watch this because it's not, you wouldn't see anything like this from
the back. You don't really.
Not a lot of people they can tell you about this.
Because also I think how I also become very confident in speaking about it is because I did it at a young age. So I didn't have to go to funerals at a young age. I was also telling a friend of mine that these things we don't attend at a young age. It's our parents that were attending these funerals because generally it's hard to hear that a kid passed on. When you're in high school, it's hard to, my peer passed on while you're still in grade 10. It was rare. But the older you get, yes, time goes, you start aging, you start getting sick. So when you're in your 40s and your 50s, like I always say to people, in your 50s and your 60s, you're going to be attending a lot of funerals. You're going to be attending a lot of funerals, your peers, your family members, so on and so forth. But when you're still young, I didn't really understand, I think I had touched a good 10, 15 years without attending a funeral. until obviously when it comes to this, I'm not attending it, I'm working, you know. So the person who's behind this, who's like a general person, just, you know, you wouldn't you wouldn't understand, because it's unexpected. So when a death happens, you don't know the processes of, there's washing the body, there's a coffin. So on when your clientele lives are advertising, they're just advertising the policy or the funeral plan that they're going to give you, or they're just saying that when death happens, you'll get a payout, but they're not going to explain to you that there's actually other things. And all these small little things that are happening behind the scenes, it's costing quite a lot of money. I was thinking about it the other day, that's the reason why these funeral parlors in Soweto are booming, because they found that niche now of breaking it down step by step, that, you know, when a loved one passes on, it's not just that money that you're going to get from clientele life that's going to cover everything. There's a lot. And that is why families also then start getting into quarrels, because yes, it's a lot of money, but the contribution will, like, you know, that's why, because there's a lot of money that they need to contribute. This person needs to do that, this person needs, so you wouldn't understand until you go through it yourself and see what's going on. Then you'll understand. So when they're advertising and saying, yeah, you can pay 100 rand, you'll get 70,000 rand when somebody passes on, I don't think it really works like that, because out of that 70,000 rand, you still have to buy a coffin for like 50 grand.
Yeah. Speaking about a coffin, how much is the cheapest coffin?
The cheapest, 15 to 20,000. The cheapest. And that's like a basic funeral. Like the cheapest coffin is 15 to 20,000 rand. So you can imagine, like, if you want like a dignified burial, you're gonna have to go to, like, there are coffins even 100k, and then you're still gonna pay another 50k for the grave. And then you must pay for the food, the catering, so on and so forth. The list goes on and on and on and on. There's quite a lot of of things, and it costs money. It costs.
Yeah, so you can spend over 500,000.
I wouldn't say that. Like maybe a good 100, 200k for, like a, you know, a nice, decent,
funeral,
dignified funeral. Yeah.
Yeah, whereby there's like Viennos, Mercedes-Benz, BMs, and stuff like that.
And a coffin that you can see that this is, you know, this is something that, you know, it's, yeah.
Does it really matter, though?
That would be my
opinion. From your
opinion.
side, like, you have dealt with these things so much, man, and you have seen the cheapest, expensive coffin, proper colors, and all that. Does it really matter to get expensive stuff?
That comes with the personal. That comes with your own personal. I guess, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, because someone's style is different. It's a different style to someone else. Someone's priorities is different to yours. Personally, I want to be cremated, so I wouldn't. Sometimes when I think of it, because of the things that I do and the person I am, I'm very loving, and I'm always like, I always attract people around me, and they always, like, I always leave a mark where I go. Mm-hmm. They'll always remember me. So sometimes when I think of, like, I don't get scared of death. That's one thing I'm not scared of.
You have seen.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not. To be honest, I don't fear it at all. The one that I fear the most is losing someone close to me. That's the biggest fear I have. So I also don't really get attached with people too much, because then I think, hey man, like, when something goes wrong, I don't want to be like alone or whatever the case may be. But my closest ones, I don't want to lose them. So I when I have that kind of personality, so I sometimes think, actually, you know what? If I were to die, I would like like a serious party. Like, just have a party. Just burn me, put me in ashes. Don't bury me, or don't spend so much. Spend on something that you will have fun with, to remember me, rather. You know, have fun, but don't let it be something that must be super expensive. It must be your life. It must be, if you are always partying and always drinking bottles and spending, let it be that, like an event, you know, like you coming to this and you must know you're gonna spend this much. That's it. It's not something that I would say my family must worry about. Oh, Nike passed on, you need to get groceries. No, don't worry about that. It's fine. But I also believe sometimes I also think that, you know what, I'm going to be super successful, where I do not even want my parents to be in that situation where they have to think about where they're going to get the money from. If they want to do that, it's fine. But I wouldn't say that it's really an important thing to make sure that I have the last number coffin, or if you put me in, like the Egyptians do it, or what's
how do they do
wrap
it?
you in a cloth,
yeah,
and they bury you. Would I know? I wouldn't know. As long as
cremation is it cheaper?
For me, no, cremation is actually quite expensive. I think I once saw cremation, and they still use the coffin as well. You still have to buy the coffin anyway.
So you have to put the body inside the
coffin and then start this. It's just like a burial. The only difference is that now they're not putting you in a grave. They're putting you in like a
oven.
Yeah. But you still have to buy the coffin. So it's the same procedure. I'm sure. But yeah. I wouldn't say that it's a personal preference, how you feel. I don't see I wouldn't. If I have to speak on the business side, I would say yes, go get the last number coffin. But personally, I don't see myself feeling some type of way if you are from a wealthy family and someone is being buried with like the lowest of the lowest. You did your part. You did what you had to do. It shows that you actually love this person, that the fact that you can go to this extent, and because there are families that don't even get this kind of dignified burials. You know, the government will have to do it, and the government really wouldn't really care much. They'll just need to get the job done. That's it. So the fact that you still have a family to actually bury you means a lot on its own. On its own.
Jeez, man, that's. Yeah, no, it's a lot, my brother. I don't know how you do it, bro. Like, that's why I like to call you the Terminator, because wow, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how you're able to go through all that, you know. I wanted to ask you, you know, some people, they believe in ghosts, you know.
Yeah.
Does it happen that sometimes maybe you're inside the mortuary, inside the fridges? I don't know how the building is structured, but like maybe you saw somebody and
then like you feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Again, it also comes with the way I am personally. I don't indulge. I don't like to. When I hear these stories, I do not want to hear them. Do not want to believe them. I stay away from such things. Also, cultural beliefs as well. I also stay away from. I listen from afar, so I just want to know from afar. So okay, if it's happening to you, okay, that's cool. That's who you are. Don't try to convince me to say, hey, Idlos Lako does this. No, don't. That's you. That's how you believe it. That's okay. You know, it happens a lot when, especially in the burials itself, because during the ceremony, it happens that family members come before all the other family members come. You know, there were a lot that situations like this would happen. A lot of them. A family member would come. I don't know if it's evil intentions or it's good intentions. They would come with whatever they come with, impepo or whatever they come with, cloths and whatever. So we don't dig the grave. It's the municipality that
has the rights.
Has the rights to. So the family is the one that's going to pay. We're just the middleman in that situation. So we will make sure that it's dug, it's dug, and it's at the proper, it's looking proper, everything. But we don't do that. That's not our job. It's the municipality to do that. That's between the family and the municipality. So when we get there, it must be already, the grave must be already done, and then we will just obviously prepare around the grave. That we must do it prior to the cemetery, so maybe hours before the family even gets there. So when they come, everything must be set and done. It happens that when we get there, while we're preparing, certain family members, whether it's the good intentions or the evil intentions, come, do their things, and they come to the grave, and then they throw their stuff, whatever, they put their stuff inside there.
Inside the
grave, and do whatever their rituals, or they pray, or whatever the case may be. Some, like I'm saying, I wouldn't know if it's good or it's bad. Maybe most of the time it's probably good. It's probably something that they believe in, and it's what they need to do. It's their cultural thing. So when they do that, they go back to their families, and they come as if, they've never been there. Or maybe the family knows that they had to do that. Some, they don't know. They come as it's the start of their ceremony, So you'll never know. So I avoid myself from such situations, believing in things that I did not know of, or that I was not raised to believe in. So I go to church Sundays, I pray to God, But as for, I don't want to know, because then I feel like if I know, it's where I would want to go and find out more. And when I find out more, I'm probably trapped in something that I did not want to be trapped into. So I just don't involve myself in that. I stay away from it. It's nice to hear the stories. It is nice. I like things like that. I like things. So hearing such information, it's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
But just don't involve yourself in it. So I stay away as much as possible from it.
Yeah.
Because, I don't wanna if it's true, I don't wanna find myself, being trapped. If it's not, I still don't wanna know anything. So I stay away as much as possible.
When somebody has been shot, maybe there are people that have been shot 10 times, and the body gets messed up, One way or another, the body will end up in the mortuary, yes. Right? Who takes out the bullets?
The forensics, because they're doing their investigation, so they need to know how many times was this guy shot, what was used. That's part of the investigating part, and then they still need to do the autopsy.
Okay.
Well, the post-mortem. So, if you're stabbed or if you're poisoned, they need to still see. And then the family will have already informed us. Sometimes, in some cases, the family would have already informed us, but we will probably just be like, okay, finished what's happening first, and then we can come. And then once it's been sorted out, then we will go and fetch the body at the government mortuary or whichever hospital the deceased was taken to. But we don't get involved in, because we don't have the rights also either, so to do such.
Do you guys sometimes get a body that is separated,
dismantled, and that happens a lot with your accidents, and you see that, but we don't deal with. I used to see them when I had to go to the government mortuary to go and collect. So because the state of government mortuary is still terrible, it's you'd go inside the mortuary. It's like a room. It's quite a big room. It's like, imagine your bedroom. Opening your bedroom, and it's just a fridge. It's just a cold room. So we call it a cold room. Just opening up there. So usually you're supposed to put them in like shelves or like in a fridge, like a square box. You open it. So in the government mortuary, they just piled up. The bodies are just like piled up. So it's a situation where, like, you now need to one on top of the other. You now need to just pull and identify who's this, and see, is this the body that we're taking, or So yeah, it's like a game of, what is that game that where you pull and then the things fall? That wooden game. So it's exactly like that. You need to identify what you're taking, and you can imagine how many bodies are there. When you take, they're all just collapsing, or they're just there.
Oh my word, they collapse.
It's because it's piled up, so it's quite a lot of number of bodies. So they need to just organize that. But it happens in government mortuaries. I wouldn't say all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when that would happen on like your accidents or something tragic happens. Yeah, but however, we don't then stitch them back unless otherwise they do state that it needs to. But the last time I did see a body once where the leg was missing, it was just separated. So when we're doing the coffining, you just make it look presentable. So you don't have to like really stitch it. So obviously if you're putting his pants on and he doesn't have his leg, you put the leg where the pants belong. When you're putting the pants, you'll put the leg where it belongs. Obviously, it's not going to be attached, but just must
like
look,
pants. Yeah,
it must look presentable. It must still look okay. And then but I wouldn't say. I've never had a situation where, like, they probably had to go and stitch it back or no. But yeah, you do get a lot of those situations. Sometimes when you hear the tragic stories on the news, there was one with the babies in Eldorado Park once, a few years ago. They were also like, they had parts missing, like body parts that were missing. But I didn't do the coffining of that week. I think I was busy with something else. But yeah, it happens. It does happen. And then I think the other one that I was answering a question about, like, if you ever get, like sometimes, like you feel emotions. I think the one is for babies. It's just that I've been fortunate enough not to coffin babies. Like, it just coincidentally happens where I'm probably doing something else. I'm just busy, but I've never had that situation where I had to coffin babies. So it happens that, the babies ones, I think it could be quite touching. But I've just only seen it from afar, like when I'm coffining a body and then you open the fridge and then you see like a little plastic or whatnot, then you'd be like, that's probably an infant or a baby. Then I go on with my business, proceed with what I'm doing. But I've never had to coffin a baby, but I think that one would actually be the one that it could be quite an emotional, because I can imagine how a mother would feel, losing a child. So yeah, it's quite a...
Yeah, bro, like I'm so emotional right now, man. And yeah, man, like I just wanted to thank you for sharing your knowledge. I didn't think that somebody would come out to explain to us. We always think that, I know these guys are just but there's more to what you guys are doing, and to be honest with you, you're helping so many families to get things done. You're making it easier for people to bury, their family members, Imagine if they had to do it by themselves. Because now they're going to have to, do a coffin from scratch, but you guys are easily there to assist them and
it's also assisting with the emotions at that time. Frustrations, I've realized the emotions start countering their frustrations, like, because you're in an emotional space, you can't really think properly, you can't really, like, you'll really get angry for the small little things. Like, you get frustrated and get angry for small little things. I had to deal with that when it comes to the cemetery work, because this is their final day that they seen their loved one. So it's like any little small thing you do that's wrong, it will make you angry. Like you will get frustrated, and you can't blame them. You can't, yes, sometimes you're making a mistake, but they paid for it, so you're also thinking of that because they paid for it. But at the same time, it's because you lost your loved one, so your emotions are all over the place. So that's one thing that I used to have to manage properly, like you always needed to, not everything is perfect, but you had to make sure things are perfect there, At the cemetery, you had to make sure that things are done to the core, to the standard. One little thing and they notice it, you're triggering them. It's like I'm saying, I've never been in that situation, so I wouldn't know. But I can imagine I'll probably be the same, if I lose a loved one and things are just not going my way, and it happens. It happens. So you live and learn also. So that's why I was also saying that working there also, I get to counter a lot of things in my life personally, wherever I go, even if it's a relationship, work as well. I know how, it taught me a lot to counter with a lot of psychologically also. I was also involved in a car accident just after actually sharing the story. Before so it was also weird when I was sharing the story, and now it was my turn now, like it was like, okay, it was almost my time, so somebody else would have been doing what I do to me. So it also then, the accident itself kind of impacted me in a way, but not because I was scared of death, just to think and realize that it's not about me, it's about the people around you. Yes, I'm comfortable with the death part, but not the people around me, not my mother, not my loved ones around me. They would feel a certain, I can imagine how they would feel if they were to lose me. So it teaches you a lot. So many things, time management, how to talk to people as well. It's very important how you talk to a family member. Very important. Because you can say the wrong thing, or you intended in the right way, but you said it the wrong way. And because they're already emotional, you've just triggered something. So talking to somebody, you need to be important. You need to watch your words carefully, what you say and how to say it. So I really got to see a lot of things. I got to see a lot of things, learn a lot of things. Basically, there's just a whole lot that happens there.
Now, my brother, thank you so much for coming and sharing your knowledge. I absolutely didn't know what you just told me. Now I know, and I'm sure the people that are watching, they also know, and they've picked up so many things. But thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
Really appreciate it.